If it's Monday night, say yeah, for it's ridiculously raw. Hello, friends. Anthony Fleury, your ridiculously overgood brother, here with you once again. Joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher of the Cerebral Smack Talk, the Phenom Michael Bullock, fresh off a raw chat that we have not had in a long time. Um, Unfortunately, we were gonna have Edie Woodson with us, but I received a message from her about half an hour ago. Edie Woodson will not be joining us this evening due to a family emergency. So we want to send all of our thoughts and prayers to Edie Woodson and the family during this difficult time. And we wish her the very best, and we hope that everything works out in the name of our Lord. So scary to think about what's going on with her right now. So, but nonetheless, we're gonna get through this edition here. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Thompson Boiling Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee, on the campus of the University of Tennessee, on the USA Network, and we started out with an in-ring segment. We had the brand new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns. He cut a promo, and basically it was him basically introducing an Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship Open Challenge. Almost similar to what John Cena did with the United States Heavyweight Championship a couple years ago. But he was interrupted by the Miz Taraj, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel, and they ripped him for what he did to Miz and the whole 9 yards. And by the way, if you're wondering what happened to Miz, the reason why they had him drop the title to Roman, Miz is doing a movie. He's filming yet another sequel to The Marine, so that's why he won't be around for a while. So just wanted to clear that up. But then a suitable challenger walked out. Elias Sampson. I'm like, a suitable challenger, Elias Sampson, huh? Yeah, okay. But nonetheless, I am going to say this was a solid segment. This was an encouraging outing for Roman Reigns in terms of the live crowd's reaction to him. There were actually more boo birds than last week, but the cheers still outweighed the boos. And they basically told viewers this early in the show that they won't be getting the Shield. I mean, we appreciate the honesty, but they could have structured the show in a way to hold off on telling viewers so early in the show. That leads to channel changing, friends. But nonetheless, I mean, like I said, this was, a solid way to start off the show. It was quick, pretty much quick and painless. I mean, this didn't go on for like 20 or 30 minutes like these windbag talking segments usually do. And later on, we're going to be talking about Roman Reigns defending his first defense of the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship against Elias Sampson. And you are not going to believe what we have to say about that match. That's all I'm going to say on that. Stay tuned. So, I'm not going to waste any more time on this. Let's bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher. MF, come on in. Solid promo for Roman and Elias. Going into it, I was thinking, yeah, okay. But when we talk about the match later on, you're not going to believe what we have to say about it.
Well, first off, Anthony, I was going to say, I think we all felt that same way. I think none of us really expected that it was going to be anything good. I think we all kind of expected that it was probably going to be something bad, but, you'll get our thoughts about that later on tonight. First off, hello, everybody. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. It's been a little while since you've heard from me. I know a couple of days since the NFL, but it was post Thanksgiving, so I hope you guys had a good time with that. At the end of the day, look, Roman Reigns is a Super Bowl champion. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but the belt's beneath them. Some people weren't really happy about it. Look, right now, WWE really doesn't have anything for Roman at the moment. And giving for what was worth, you had to do something different. So for Roman to issue or do the Intercontinental Open Challenge is actually pretty unique, because just like what they did with John Cena and what AJ Styles pulled when they were trying to do it, I think this is better. By doing it this way, you open the door for some other talent, maybe some who maybe doesn't really deserve, but some good talent to get the opportunity at a prestigious title. And I really like that Roman's doing this because it actually might make the Intercontinental Championship relevant. Because remember, when John Cena did the United States Open Challenge, every time we had a match, 9 times out of 10, they were really good. But on top of that, the main factor of doing it, to make the title relevant, to make a championship feel somewhat prestigious. And don't get me wrong, Miz was a good champion, but for me, he never made the belt relevant. He made it about himself. Because that's the thing. Because I think we can all agree the WWE Championship is the championship you want in professional wrestling. That is the belt in WWE. What was the number one belt you wanted as your secondary title? Was the Intercontinental title. Because of the fact that whenever you were the IC champion, chances are that meant sometime down the line in the very near future, you were going to become the WWE champion, or back in the day, the World Wrestling Federation champion. So, what do they do with this belt now? Because think about the lineage. Think about all the guys who held the Intercontinental Championship, who went on to become World Wrestling Federation champion. You know, from Macho Man Randy Savage, to Bret the Hitman Hart. Shawn Michaels was an Intercontinental champion before he got the big belt. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, The Rock. I believe Austin was even an IC champion. And what did they do? That belt became a stepping stone for all these men to become WWE champion or WW or World Wrestling Federation champion. I can't say those other words because I don't want to get ripped by the World Wildlife Fund and have them come after me. So when you're the Intercontinental champion, normally that would be your launch point to make you the best ever. Well, to make you the heir apparent to the championship belt. So I think the belt kind of lost its way a little bit in the last few years, but I will say this. The belt really took relevance again was the night Cody Rhodes, that's right, I'm saying his name, Dashing Cody Rhodes legitimately brought back the Intercontinental title. Don't get me wrong. That old school belt that they had during the Attitude Era and going upwards, that was a nice belt and that was honorable. And yes, there was a lot of great champions out there. But honestly, for my generation, for Anthony's generation, for Michael Bullock's generation, that goes back to even our fathers' generation. The Intercontinental belt was realized and resurrected by Cody Rhodes when he brought that belt back. At that moment, the belt had a little bit of that luster, that relevancy started to come back. And then champion after champion that has come up to that belt. Some of them has held it really well. Others has made it, has tarnished the legacy of the belt. Roman Reigns is trying to do something that maybe WWE fans wants to see. And that is maybe that belt going back to relevance. How do you do that? By opening it up. Let the whole world jump on this one. Let them have an opportunity at winning the Intercontinental title. This was the ultimate mid-card belt. You win this belt, you were a hair, a whisker away from the main event scene. You were relevant. You went from the mid card to possibly the upper mid card, right on the fringe of the main event. And even Intercontinental titles are so prestigious and so legendary in other organizations. As a matter of fact, I actually saw a wrestling match earlier today, which was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Shinsuke Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, which is their secondary belt. And believe it or not, gentlemen, that fight was the main event. It actually was the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. The biggest event of the year in Japan, Japan's WrestleMania. Their main event was an Intercontinental title fight. The last time WWE has ever done an Intercontinental title fight as a main event of a pay-per-view event, you got to go all the way back to 1992. Wembley Stadium. Bret the Hitman Hart versus the British Bulldog in a 5-star classic, and at that time was considered, before Shawn Michaels and Triple H had their legendary no-holds-barred fight, as the greatest SummerSlam match of all time. It's now maybe considered the second greatest SummerSlam fight of all time, but at that time, it was not only considered one of the greatest, and even, I'll go as far to say it, possibly the second greatest Intercontinental Championship match of all time, behind Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. That's the lineage we're talking about. With the Intercontinental Championship, with Roman Reigns doing this open challenge, I hope this is the spark of a revolution of making the belt as prestigious, as honorable, and as something that I know Anthony Floyd holds the belt so esteemingly high. He actually kind of has a real big soft spot for the Intercontinental Championship. Me, on the other hand, I'm on the fence about the IC title. Even though, yes, it's honorable, I kind of hold the world title more higher than the IC title. Florio, I know, and he'll tell you, the dream belt he wanted back in the day, before he ever saw the World Heavyweight Championship, was the Intercontinental title. Roman, if you can bring that lustre, that legacy, the prestige back to that belt, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And that is definitely best for business. It would be best for business for me, business for Anthony. It would be best for business for Michael Bullock. And I know if she was here tonight, it also would be best for business for Didi Was in Hell. I'll even go one further. It would be best for business for the Imperial Grand Poobah himself, Derek Ferrera, because I think Ferrera would be agreeing with me right now about what I'm saying. To say, the segment was good. It was solid. We kind of were a little iffy about Elias getting the opportunity, but we'll get to you back on that a little bit later tonight. Michael Bullock, come on in, brother. It's all yours, my friend. What did you think about the segment and what I just said about the IC title?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the segment was good, and it wasn't long like other normal segments that we see on Monday Night Raw. But yeah, I mean, what you basically said, Fletch. I mean, you basically hit the nail on the head with everything about the Intercontinental title. I mean, yes, the world title is always the most prestigious one, but Intercontinental title is definitely a close second. I mean, you've seen a number of Hall of Famers wear that Intercontinental Championship belt. Your idol, Bret the Hitman Hart, Anthony Florio, has held that title. Shawn Michaels, um, Stone Cold Steve Austin, uh, Triple H. I mean, I could go on and on with all the names of all the Hall of Famers and legends that have held that title. And let's not forget the man who first created the Intercontinental title, who was the first ever Intercontinental champion, the great Pat Patterson. I mean, all those names, have made that Intercontinental title as prestigious as it is. I really want to see if Roman can make the Intercontinental Championship prestigious again. If that happens, I will definitely be happy about it, and I know damn sure that Anthony Florio is going to be really happy about it. So yeah, so I really got nothing more to say. I say we just move on to our first match of the night, and boy, we had ourselves a good one here.
Very good one indeed, Bullock. And yes, and to get to what MF was saying there, he's absolutely right. I felt the same exact way about the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship growing up as a young man. I'll be honest, and what everything MF said, that was true. I mean, I held that Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship in very high regard. But then once I saw the World Heavyweight Championship, during the original brand split, that pretty much changed my tune right there. But that's a story for another day. So let's get into our first match of the night. And oh boy, what a match we had here. One-on-one match. Seth Rollins, one-on-one with Cesaro. Winner of the match in an even 18 minutes. Seth Rollins wins the match with this high knee maneuver. MF, we started with you here. Oh, wow, what a match.
You could easily say fight of the night. Clearly, you could say fight of the night. Yeah, this was amazing. Look, this is what you expect when you got these two men going at it. And look, I don't care who you are or where you're about, but this was a great match. Easily top 10, at least for TV fights of the year. I'm not going to say it's the TV fight of the year, but at least it's going to be in the conversation, in the top 10. Maybe on the lower tier, but this was definitely top 10 worthiness, to say the very least. I was really thrilled with the match. I was thoroughly enjoyed, entertained from beginning to end, and I'm going to pull the trigger, man. 3.5 stars, maybe even to go, maybe flirting with 3.75. That's how good this fight was. Got ample time. Maybe if it got a little more, I think it could have gone 4. That's how good this fight was. So 3 to 3.25 is my rating for this fight. Unbelievable match. Definitely top fight of the night. If not, maybe the fight of the night. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
I'm going to say this was the fight of the night here, and I'll give it somewhere between 3.5 to 4 stars. This was definitely a very good match, to say the very least. These two can definitely put on a real good match, no doubt about it. And yeah, it's I really enjoyed it, and yeah, after the match, Seth Rollins basically said, "You know what? Next week, me and Dean Ambrose, we're invoking our rematch clause, and we're gonna challenge the bar for the Raw Tag Team title." So yeah, so really got nothing more to say. I mean, 3.5 to 4 stars, fight of the night. So, Floria, what's yours?
That's right, Bullet. That's exactly what we said during our Raw chat tonight. This was the fight of the night. 3.5 to 4 stars. I knew this was going to be a good match. I really did. And I'm not surprised that they delivered. I mean, Bullet, you remember, I told you during our Raw chat, I said, and I quote, I said this was going to be, I had a great feeling about this match. And what a surprise, I was right. No big surprise. I mean, we knew this was going to be an awesome match, and they delivered. They delivered in every aspect of it. I mean, wow, very good match as you would expect from these two. They got a ton of time, kept a strong pace, and Cesaro's work of Rollins' back played into the match as it went on. And I mean, all I can say was it was a great idea to have this match as the opening segment in the opening window rather than later in the show when the crowd starts to tucker out and may not have as much interest in yet another singles match involving wrestlers currently in the tag team division. So, and big news in the tag team division next Monday night on Raw at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Oh, by the way, the home of next year's Survivor Series. We're going to get the rematch, guys. The Bar, Rollins and Ambrose, one more time for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Oh, Lordy. I think we already know. I think we can pencil this in as fight of the night for next week. That's all I can say on that. So, it's going to be a good one. I know you boys obviously concur with that. So, what else is there to say, man? I mean, 3.5 to 4 stars, fight of the night, no doubt about it. All right, gentlemen, you can relax for a little bit. Of course, you know what time it is. What the ridiculously raw, as I always say, without cutouts, and well, we have quite a few of them. And here's the first one: Samoa Joe, Titus O'Neil. Samoa Joe squashes him in 2.5 minutes with of course, a move that Michael Bullock and I just love to say so much. We had a lot of fun with it today. The Coquita Clutch. Yeah, Bullock, we had a lot of fun with that, didn't we? So, that's all we can say on that. So that was 2.5 minutes worth of squash, and then Joe did the same thing to Apollo Crews after the match. So, but don't worry, that's not the last we're going to see of Joe. Spoiler alert. Okay. What was going to happen here was we were supposed to have, it was scheduled to be a 6-woman tag team match. Mickie James, Bayley, and Sasha Banks were going to square off against Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. Yeah, about that. Mickie James gets taken out backstage. Looked like a shin ankle injury. And then Bayley gets taken out backstage as well. You noticed something when they didn't come out with their entrance themes. Sasha was out. Sasha ended up being out there all alone. And Paige was trying to convince her to join her new stable. Yep, they have a new stable, and sorry, Derek Ferreira, they're not going to call it PMS. That's not PG. But I do like the name, though. They've called it, the new stable is now known as Absolution. Clever name. I love it. And but they wanted Sasha to join. Sasha, of course, being the lone wolf that she is, not happening. And then they went down on them, and then during this, Paige cut a scathing promo about how she, started the women's evolution. And here's the one who really started the women's evolution, not Emma. Emma had a part in it, but here's the woman who really kickstarted it right here. So, and she made it clear tonight. And then Mandy Rose even said a few words, and Sonya even said a few words. So, wow. So, MF Bullock, I don't know if you guys want to get into that or not. Do you want to address this elephant in the room? I mean, the new name of Absolution. I mean, very.
I dig it. I'll take it for a spin for a little bit.
Yeah, this
yes,
is more of a cutout. I just want to be sure.
yeah, no, this was definitely a cutout, no doubt about it. But I love the promo. I love what Paige said, and Absolution is what it is. It's absolutely devastating what they have done. Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and Paige has caused havoc on the Monday Night Raw women. And I'm telling you right now, man, it's a game changer. What the Raw women has done up to this point is they have left bodies all over the place. It started about a week ago when they debuted, and then we saw what they did. They laid out the women's champion, Alexa Bliss. Now you see them taking names, just destroying people left and right. So I was a little shocked that they went after what they wanted. It was to bring Sasha Banks. And at first, I was like, that's a brilliant move because there was talk about maybe turning Sasha heel. And that would be the perfect moment. Pull the trigger and have that happen. But obviously, they don't want to turn her just yet. So fair enough. No problem. And we'll go from there. Now, what are we going to see in part 3, or what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks? Or maybe do they have their eyes on someone else? Somebody a little more stronger. Somebody who's never tasted defeat via pinfall or submission. You'll know what I'm talking about in just a little bit. Bullock, if you want to jump on this, go ahead. If you don't, we move on.
Yeah, I'll take it for a spin for a little bit. I mean, I dig the name too, Absolution, and yeah, I mean, Paige was saying that she started the whole women's revolution, and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville basically agreed on it, and the three of them working together. I mean, it changes the whole face of the Raw women's division. You saw what they did to Alexa Bliss last week, and what they did to Mickie James and Bayley, and then the beatdown tonight of Sasha Banks. So now the question is, who's going to join them next, or who's going to be the next victim? We'll just have to wait and see. So let's just move on, Florio.
Indeed, we will, and yes, I agree with that. I mean, there are some who are not crazy about Rose and Deville being cast as Paige disciples because it makes them feel like like what's the word? Minions, disciples, followers, like Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel with the Miz, or Luke Harper and Eric Rowan with the Wyatts. I mean, but hopefully both of those women will get chances to establish their own personalities, and it will not all be about Paige. But those two examples I gave don't provide a lot of cause for optimism. I'm still curious to see what the difference is between this heel trio and the heel trio that pretty much had the same exact debut on SmackDown Live last week, with Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. And I know MF's going to make sure we get into that tomorrow night. I'm sure that elephant in the room is going to be addressed. So, but yeah, I mean, and I loved it. I mean, you guys were right. I mean, and the name. I mean, that name is awesome. I mean, there was no need to give away a match yet, and it made the Absolution come off as smart and calculating, taking out their opponents and beating down Sasha. And if you also noticed, Alexa Bliss was on commentary, but I love that she bailed out, took her ball, and went home before another beatdown came her way. Mandy and Sonya, they were a little bit rough on the promo, but Sonya did a good job of running through the what chants and didn't let them phase her. So So yeah, and if I'm gonna be honest, by default, I gotta consider this the segment of the night, honestly. So that's really all there is to say on that. So let's move on here. And then Bray Wyatt cutting another, another meh promo. I mean, he was seeking heat from the fans with that promo, but they reacted with silence more than anything, or maybe they are all dead. We'll figure that out. And then we had a match: Bray Wyatt against Matt Hardy. Bray Wyatt won it with Sister Abigail, and yeah, the match is a cutout. We're not going to get into that. That was a no rating to a dud. Same as the Joe and Cruz match, by the way. You may have noticed Matt Hardy was not as energetic during his entrance, but we wouldn't have thought much about it, but the broadcast team had not pointed it out. But then you noticed after the match, you noticed Matt Hardy was laying down and he started doing the delete motions. I wonder what that could mean. Could this finally be the moment we've been waiting for?
He's been broken. Been broken.
Yeah.
Get ready. The green beans are gonna be coming.
Delete.
And if that's the case, I think Brother MF has a little number in order.
Oh no. Not yet. Not yet, Brother Florio. It's not time. But soon they shall. And the whole world will sing its praises. But until then, it's going to be fun. I'm going to tell you, I was watching this as well. And I was thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, the motion, the whole 9 yards. But can I just say it? What was up with the crowd in Tennessee tonight? I mean, you would think after all this time, you've been begging for it. You've been wanting broken Matt Hardy, and yet that's your reaction to it. I'm sorry, man. I wish, you know what? If you pull the gimmick, if you pull the trigger, and if Matt Hardy flat out goes broken next week in LA, look out below. That place will go bonkers. Because I know LA is an IWC crowd, and I know they've been itching for Dan to do the delete. And I know they're itching for me to sing that song that Florio's been dying for me to say.
Yeah.
Has to go something with obsolete.
Yeah.
I'm leaving that alone. If we get it next week, maybe then you'll get to hear it, Anthony. You're 1 week away, possibly, from me making my return with that epic song.
And I'm going to tell you something, MF. During our Raw chat tonight, Bullock actually pulled it out. He actually did it. Can you imagine him seeing it?
I guess I've been rubbing a lot of knowledge into Bullock. You know, we've been hanging out a lot more than usual nowadays. So I guess it's only fitting that if we can't do the Raw chats anymore because, you know, work commitments or stuff happening in my life, it's only fitting that Bullock gets to slide in and start being the good old MF of the group.
Sure. And yeah, we had a lot of fun during our Raw chat tonight. It's the first one we've had in a while because the Bullets had things going on Monday nights. But nonetheless, I mean, if it does come back, get ready for the infamous photo of, you know, green beans. Yes. They'll be for everyone. So let's see what happens come next week. I'm hoping for it. So yeah, they're going for it. All right. Now we're going to get into something actually relevant here. Now, there was a backstage segment earlier in the show. face cruiserweights, such as Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, Akira Tozawa, and Mustafa Ali. They were in Kurt Angle's office, and Kurt Angle announced that there was going to be a fatal four-way match tonight, another fatal four-way match next week, and the two winners of those matches, I believe, will meet maybe the week after that, maybe? I don't know. I hope that's how it works out, because if it does, the winner, whoever emerges as number one contender, goes on to face Enzo Amore for the Cruiserweight Championship. And if the timing works out perfectly, that Cruiserweight Championship match could be in 3 weeks when Raw comes here to our neck of the woods of Providence at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Do you imagine that, guys? If we actually get to go to this, we could actually be treated to a Cruiserweight Championship match. How about that? But nonetheless, we had our first of the four-way matches. Interesting lineup here. We had Rich Swann squaring off with Noam Dar, Akira Tozawa, and Arya Daivari. When all was said and done, winner of the match in 12 minutes and 32 seconds. In our first entrant into that number one contender match, former Cruiserweight champion in his own right, the outlandish Rich Swann. Can't handle this, can't handle this. So that's all there is to say on that. Rich Swann wins it with the Phoenix Splash, 12.5 minutes. Michael Bullock, let's start it off with you here. Your boy Rich Swann, the Dancing Fool, is our first entrant into that little number one contender match. 12.5 minutes.
Yeah, this turned out to be a really good match here. I'll give it about somewhere between 3 to 3.5 stars. I thought this was going to be. I still thought it was going to be good, but I thought it was going to be shorter than that. But they gave the cruiserweights a good amount of time and some good near falls here, and now Rich Swann is wins the fatal four-way, and now he's gonna find out next week who he'll be battling to see who will earn the right to face Enzo Amore for the cruiserweight title. So, yeah, great performance by all four competitors, though. So, congratulations to Rich Swann. So 3 to 3.5. Flory, what's yours?
Yeah, Bullock, we had a lot of fun watching this match during our Raw chat tonight. And Cedric Alex, I don't know why I have Cedric Alexander in my mind. I'm sorry. Rich Swann, during the match, did Michael Bullock's favorite move, the Tope Con Hilo. And Bullock, he put a little extra twang on that, we noticed. Wow. But nonetheless, this was the third best fight of the night. Initially we had it as the second, but we'll get into what the second was in a minute. But 3 to 3.5 stars, absolutely. But I think I'm leaning more towards a solid 3. It was really nice to see the cruiserweights actually get time on Raw. They worked hard, made the most of the time they were given, and they had a surprisingly good match. Very good action in the four-way. That's never the issue with the cruiserweight division. It's the lack of storytelling and character development. And that's pretty much all there is to say on that. So Rich Swann gets the first spot in that number one in that soon to be number one contenders match. We're gonna have another four-way next week. I'm hoping that formula works out, because if it all works out the way I think it does, December 18th, when Raw comes to Providence, if the three of us and maybe one other gets fortunate enough to go, if the stars align the way they hopefully will, we could actually be there and could witness the Cruiserweight Championship match. Think about it. 3 to 3.5 stars, leaning more towards solid 3. But MF, wow, this is the best Cruiserweight match we've had on Raw in quite a while.
Probably the best cruiserweight match since the division has come back, period. This was a great match, no doubt about it. 3 stars, definitely agree with that. I'm happy that Rich Swann won it, even though I kind of feel like if you would have given it to Akira Tozawa, who's a former champion, I would not have been angry with that. I actually would not have been angry to see Noam Dar at the end. get his opportunity, because I kind of feel like he's done really well and just hasn't gotten the big push yet. Swann getting it, I guess that's good enough for me. The one guy I really would like to have seen it has been a guy who has never really gotten a big opportunity yet, and that is Mustafa Ali. I kind of felt like he deserved it more than anybody else, but because he's had one of the biggest beefs with Enzo Amore lately. But it is what it is. Swann wins it. Good for him. At the end of the day, we're going to find out the rest of the way that it breaks down coming up, but I really love the way that this is being told storyline-wise. And yeah, if it is true, if we do get the trigger pulled, that if we do get a championship fight set for Monday Night Raw in Providence on the 18th, oh my goodness. Big deal. Very big deal. I'll tell you this, anytime there's a title fight in Providence, be prepared for anything. Going into Providence the last 2 times, we've had a big time, really good WWE title fight. Then the last time they were here, we had a Money in the Bank cash-in for the title, and I don't think none of us, me and Michael Bullock, didn't even think in our wildest dreams that we were going to have a Money in the Bank cash-in Providence. We did, and well, you saw what happened next, folks. That's all I'm saying. Nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Look up the August 15th edition of Cerebral Smack Talk if you're wondering what we're all talking about, folks. So because that's when that went down. So go on MF's channel, BraceFan95, and look up Cerebral Smack Talk from August 15th, and you'll get the whole story on what happened that night, as far as that cash-in is concerned. But anywho, all right, boys, here we go. Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on the line. Roman Reigns, his first defense as champion, defending against Elias Samson. Winner of the match in 14 minutes and 45 seconds, and still the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the big dog, Roman Reigns, with the spear. Whoa. Are you kidding? No, I gotta do it right. Holy cow, are you kidding? This match was actually good? Wow. I couldn't believe it. Okay, the outcome was never in doubt. Everybody and their mother knew Roman was going to win this. I mean, it would have been way too soon to take the belt off him after that epic win last week. But Elias, dude, unbelievable. Bravo, brother. That's all I'm going to say on that. I think starting tonight and going forward, I think we need to take Elias more seriously and stop ridiculing him and calling him somewhat of a punching bag, because man, oh man, did he bring it tonight. I can honestly say, since he got called up as the Drifter, that was his best match to date. And imagine, Roman, of all people, was the one that actually got a good match out of it. Wow. Both men deserve a lot of praise for that. It's very tough, because the Rollins and Cesaro match was a very good match. This one was almost just as good, almost better. I honestly can't make up my mind, because both of these were amazing. I could say co-fight of the night. I could give this another 3.5 to 4 stars. I mean, I honestly did not expect Elias to push Roman like he did. I thought Roman was going to beat him in like 5 minutes, but at the most. But wow, I mean, good match with Elias getting a lot of offense, even if a lot of it was off of distractions caused by the Miztourage. But man, I mean, just an amazing, amazing match. And we actually had some elements of Shakespearean drama here. I mean, we had like 2, maybe 3 hope spots in this match where it actually looked like Elias was going to win the belt. Could you imagine if they had pulled the trigger and they had given Elias the belt? Wow. That would have been the most shocking and newsworthy moment of Raw this year. But sleeper fight of the night, another 3.5 to 4 stars. And I can honestly say, best match for Elias since his main roster call-up. I'll even go as far as to say this is the sleeper fight of the year. I did not expect this to be good. I thought this was going to be a mess. I thought this was going to be a clunker and a snooze. But, wow. Color me surprised. Good for you, Elias. And good for you, Roman, for actually making him look like $1 million out there. Well done. 3.5 to 4 stars, sleeper fight of the night. MF. Where did that come from for Elias? Wow, I can't believe it.
4 stars, fight of the night. Definitely in the top 10 for fight of the year. And I'm going to say probably one of the better Intercontinental title fights we've seen probably in the last, wow, I don't know how many years. I mean, it was that good. It was that amazing. And yes, this was Elias's personal best ever since like NXT or WWE. This was like a career moment for Elias. Even though it was in a losing effort, this was a career moment for him. And this was one of the better Roman Reigns fights that he's had in a long time. I don't think, maybe other than his fight with John Cena earlier this year, or not too long ago, is probably his top fights that he's had in 2017. But my God, what a match. I mean, everything went right. The wrestling psychology was right. The way that they were telling the story was right. I actually did not mind the moments where the Miztourage was getting involved in the fight. That was actually well executed. Everything kind of was like, if you had a checklist of all the moments in the fight, they were checking them off one by one. And even I was even like giving them like extra bonus points along the way because of the length of the fight, the intrigue of the fight, the way the fight was getting, I was on the edge of my seat for most of the night on these matches. And it just brought everything home to a T that even I have to admit. And I'm not the biggest Raw fan. I am definitely Team Blue through and through. But even I needed to tip my cap to this fight. This was without a doubt a really good match. And, WWE nailed it on this one. This is a lot of the times we rip on McMahon and Kevin Dunn and all the writers and the boys on Monday Night Raw. This time, guys, take a bow. Don't take a victory lap, but take a bow. Take the pats on the back that I know a lot of the IWC is going to be giving you tonight. Just like myself, Anthony, and Mike Bullock are going to be giving you the pats on the back. I know Derek probably will be doing it too, because this gentleman was your personal best fight. Clear cut for me, fight of the night. This was no doubts in my mind. Even though, yes, you can make the argument that the Sheamus and Rollins fight was just as good and equally and you could say 1A to 1B. To me, flat out, straight up, number one fight of the night for me. 4 stars, unbelievable match. Like I said, I told you, the minute that Roman was the champion, when he did the open challenge, that you want to bring luster and legitimacy to the Intercontinental title, I'm going to tell you guys, they took one mega step forward to making that belt legitimate, because my goodness, remember, John Cena had a moment like that in his own right when he fought Sami Zayn in Canada, fighting for the United States Championship. And we saw how that fight turned out, how epic that fight was, and how that kind of was like the stepping stone to making the U.S. title legitimate. Tonight, maybe tonight, might have been the jump off for making the Intercontinental legitimate and prestigious, because if you keep doing these type of matches, in no time we're gonna be praising and getting excited and riveted about an Intercontinental title fight. Roman, you might have been the best thing that just happened to the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. When you put performances like that tonight, that is what we see when we talk about the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time. I promise you, my friend, you get that belt and you keep that belt for a little while longer and you put these type of performances out there, I promise you, man, as much as we may not, and as much as you get ripped by the IWC and everybody else, we're going to have to tip our cap and we're going to have to end up respecting you. Just like we do with John Cena. Even though they like to say John Cena sucks and he gets booed out of the building almost all the time, but we also have those moments where we need to tip our caps and respect you for the great quality that you do and what you bring to the table. For me, tonight, I tip my cap to you, and you know what? You deserve all the things of praises that you're getting right now, because that is wrestling, my friend. Well done. Mike Bullock, it's yours. Mike?
Bullock, are you there? Oh, I think we lost him. Yeah, I think we lost him. So, like, man, what a performance! I mean, the IC belt's back. That's all there is to say on that. And then after the match, Samoa Joe took out Roman Reigns with a Coquina Clutch. So who knows? Could Samoa Joe be the next challenger for Roman in the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship? And if that's the case, wow. These Intercontinental matches are going to get better and better as we go forward. I mean, let's not forget last week when Roman beat The Miz for the title. That was 3.5 to 4 too. So the last 2 weeks, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship is relevant. Good job, guys. Don't screw it up. Let's keep this going. So, all right. Moving forward here. Okay. I think history was made, and not in a good way. I think we may have witnessed the fastest match in the history of Monday Night Raw. Dana Brooke wanted, or I should say, MF's girl, Dana Brooke, wanted another shot at the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Dana. Oh, darling, you're beautiful. And I know why MF loves you. I can understand why MF has had a thing for this beautiful young lady for the last year or so, maybe more. But why in the world would you want to get back in there with the Empress? Darling, you lost in 4 seconds, baby girl. 4 seconds. MF. Not even you can defend that.
She thought she had a weakness. She thought she had something that she said in that little special promo thingy that they did with the small box. She thought she knew something. She thought that, Asuka's a slow starter, so maybe if I just surprise her, go for the attack, and maybe I can, rattle the cage a little bit, that maybe I can get Asuka there. And what happened is so reminiscent. And I got to go back to a UFC fight with Ronda Rousey, because it almost was the same thing that happened. At the time, she was the women's bantamweight champion, and she fought Kat Zingano. And Zagano literally paid the price for this. Zagano charged at Ronda. Ronda judo throwed her, put her in the armbar, and made Kat Zagano tap out. And I believe they said it was about 15 seconds. That was it. The fight was over. 15 seconds, Ronda Rousey successfully defended her title. It was mirror image. Brooke charged. Asuka flipped her right over, slapped the armbar on her, and Brooke tapped out. My jaw hit the floor. I know yours and Bullock's must have hit the floor, and you must have been like, "What the hell just happened?" In my mind, I was like, I've seen this before. I remember this and it just like pictured in my head. I'm like, oh my god, this is like the UFC all over again. This is like Ronda versus Zagano all over again. It was just like bam, it was over. Like if you blinked, you missed. That's all I gotta say about that. Look, Brooke, I love you. You know I love you. But I think Anthony is right. What were you thinking, my love? Why? What made you think that maybe by starting quick, jumping out of the gate, that was gonna phase the Empress of Tomorrow? That's foolhardiness. That's basically, you literally did a rookie mistake, and you're not a rookie. You don't go after somebody full bore like that. You don't. That's a major mistake. That is the last thing you do in wrestling. You do not go in there like that. I could critique this so many different ways, but I'd rather not, because then we'd be here all night. And quite frankly, I don't think none of us want to do that. So, nothing more to say, Anthony. Obviously, clear dud, worst fight of the night. But
and a record.
Man, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for Brooke. I there's nothing more to say. Nothing more to say, kid.
Yeah, clear. Yeah, Asuka's got the rocket pack on her. There's no question about that. And the recent rumors of WWE possibly doing a women's Royal Rumble in January. You imagine that? Having 2 Rumble matches on the same night, one for the men and one for the women? Wow. That would be history making. That's all I can say on that. Derek Ferreira did his Wrestling Forum podcast, his Sunday morning Wrestling Forum podcast. Check it out on his channel, Falcon Striker 445. He addressed those rumors of that possible women's Royal Rumble match. With all these call-ups, I mean, I can see it happening. So, but we'll get into that, in the weeks and months to come. But yeah, 4 seconds. Wow, that's got to be the fastest fastest match in Raw history. And then Absolution came out, and they surrounded the ring Shield style, and somehow, some way, Asuka got a free pass. I thought they would have, gone in, but they obviously, want to make Asuka strong, obviously, because she is, right now, the crown jewel of the women's division, even though she's not the champion yet. Oh, that's coming, though. She will be the champion soon enough. So, okay. And then in the end, it is not often that the main event is a cutout, but in this case, it is. Kane against Jason Jordan. Kane wins by countout in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Jason Jordan screaming and selling, screaming like a little, what. I'm not going to even get into that. But it could be, the planting of seeds for a possible heel turn, because there are rumors going around saying that they might be turning Jason Jordan heel. And that would be a good idea to do it. I mean, faking injuries will do it. I mean, he appears to be ducking opponents by faking knee injuries only if he loses offensive control in the Ring of Monsters. And it's important for Jordan to have enough plausible deniability for his storyline father to believe it without looking like an idiot. So that's probably why they had Kane work over the knee after the bout, along with setting up the need for Finn Balor to come out. And then Finn Balor wins by DQ in 2 minutes and 44 seconds after Kane used a chair. And then just as it looked like Kane was going to really do a number on Finn Balor, Braun Strowman shows up. And then Braun Strowman attacks Kane. He basically did the same thing that Kane did to him last week, rammed the chair into his windpipe there. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, double duds there. I mean, not a good way to end what ended up being, not one of the better Raws in recent memory, even though we had 3 very good matches on it. So we're not gonna, get into that main event stuff, because that was garbage. So, alrighty. Overall thoughts on this edition of Raw. I know a lot of people are slamming it. One review I'm reading gave it a 3.5. Yeah, it was not the best show, yes, but it wasn't the worst either. Because like I said, 3 quality matches tonight, including a sleeper fight of the night that came out of absolute nowhere. So I'm gonna give this maybe in the middle here, probably like 5 to 5.5. I think that may be the best way to go. Maybe teetering on 6, but I think 5.5 may be the best. Roman Reigns, Elias Sampson. Wow. That's all I can say. And then throw in another great match with Seth Rollins and Cesaro. They delivered. The Cruiserweights stepped up tonight. They delivered a better than an above average match. And then Absolution, Paige, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. They made headlines yet again and looked absolutely stunning doing it. And so 5.5, I believe, is the best rating to go. So University of Tennessee, not a bad show, not the worst either. So there you go. So 5 to 5.5. And next week, Staples Center, Los Angeles, The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus against Rollins and Ambrose one more time. And I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being the final time for the Raw Tag Team Championship. And if it is, expect another instant classic, maybe the best ever. So 5.5. If I didn't get it right, I don't care. That's my opinion alone. So what do you say, Mef?
Fair enough. 5 stars for me. Yes, it was a 50-50 show. But I don't blame the people that's actually slamming this and saying that it was a god awful show, because I think it was. But there was a little bit some good over the bad. There was a lot of good matches. You said it. Sheamus versus Rollins, good match. Obviously, Elias versus Roman definitely is a standout fight more than anything else. I could care less about the ending of the show, because that was kind of weak in a way, and I really think that kind of is a little deflating in a sense of it. But we'll wait and see what happens there. But I like the seeds that they're planning. Maybe a Roman versus Joe, that looks pretty enticing to me. Really nothing more to say after that. So, Anthony, it's time for your Tony's Take. Go ahead, my friend. It's all yours.
All right, now, it's going to be a little bit different. This particular Tony's Take, if I'm going to be real honest with you. Some things, some weird things went down with my dish lineup, and I didn't get to see Impact Wrestling this past week, and in a way, I'm actually kind of glad, because, well, I'll get into that in a minute, but of course, I still will have 205 Live, so we get into that right now. This was another solid show, I'll be honest with you. So here we have it. We started off with a street fight. Yeah, street fight. It was Akira Tozawa against Drew Gulak. Akira Tozawa won it in 11 minutes and 11 seconds. This was the fight of the night, clearly. 3.25 stars. Good and fun match with Gulak working outside of his usual style and a nice definitive finish for Tozawa. And then we had Mustafa Ali against the premier athlete Tony Nese. Tony Nese wins in 7 minutes, 2 3/4 of a star here. Pretty good little match with a good pace, and Nese stealing the win with a nice nefarious means move there. And then main event tag team match: Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander against Noam Dar and Ariya Daivari. Swann and Alexander win the match. Swann with the Phoenix Splash on Daivari. 8 minutes 10 seconds. By default, worst fight of the night. 2.5 stars. It was a perfectly solid main event, but it really felt like it was missing something to really make me care about it. 6 3/4, teetering on 7 out of 10. Pretty good show overall, laying out the battle lines between the Zoe Train and the 205 Live baby faces. If short on time, I strongly recommend that opening street fight with Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak. That was a very good match. It's more than worth a look. So I don't know of anything that's going to be on the show this upcoming week, but we're just going to leave it at that. All right, I got to explain myself when it comes to what's going on with the Impact Wrestling here. Like I said, there were some things that went down with the Dish and certain networks. You know, I was without Pop Television for a little bit. There must have been something behind the scenes I didn't know about. So, unfortunately, I had to miss Impact Wrestling this past week on Thanksgiving night. But in a way, I'm actually kind of glad because, I mean, there was really nothing to speak of anyway. I mean, all they pretty much did was show, like, best of clips from, like, Thanksgiving past and whatnot. And from what I know, they showed, they showed the turkey suit match from 2008 with Alex Shelley, Sheik Abdul-Bashir, Rhino winning, and Alex Shelley forced to do the bit. And then various Impact stars shared memories of Thanksgiving. And then they went back to Thanksgiving back in 2011. Eric Young and Robbie E in the Turkey Bowl match. Robbie E ended up being torn out of it, and Rob Terry had to wear it. I mean, oh yeah. And then they went back to last year where it was Grado and Robbie E, and then that led us to the only match of the evening, a 10 person intergender tag match where the loser of the fall had to wear the turkey suit. KM, El Hijo del Fantasma, Chris Adonis, Caleb Connolly, and Laurel Van Ness against Eddie Edwards, standby wrestler Richard Justice, Balaba, Garza Jr., and Ali. The babyface team won it. Eddie Edwards scored the winning fall, and it was on Chris Adonis, a.k.a. Chris Masters. So, and Adonis had to wear the turkey suits, so, and then a food fight breaks out, so that's all I can say on that. So the 1 week I was without Pop Television, I'm actually kind of grateful for it because that show, from what I read, was terrible. But I got a good feeling about the next show though. And I've got it back up and running, so I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet with that. Now, what's gonna happen coming up here? I mean, that's some good things to look forward to here. We're gonna have a tournament to crown a new Knockouts champion. One of those unique tournaments, but what do we have? Taiji Ishimori will go up against Hakeem Zayn. James Storm against Tejano. Matt Sydal against Tyson Dux. Now, it's 2 triple threat matches for the women. The first one's going to feature Laurel Van Ness, Casey Spinelli, and Madison Rain. And then the other, it'll be Rosemary, Allie, and Sienna. And then OVE and LAX are going to have a moment, and they're going to have an in-ring segment. And then in the main event, Johnny Impact against Alberto El Patron. So So there's your show for this week. So that's pretty much all there is to say on that. So we're just gonna put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, like I said, we want to send out our thoughts and our prayers to Dee Dee Woodson and her family. A family emergency. That's why Dee Dee had to miss the show tonight. She was going to be on the show, but she messaged me about half an hour before the show. So we're just going to leave it at that. We're not gonna do the shout outs. I mean, they know who they are anyway. So that's it. But before we wrap up, MF, come on in. I wanna have you set the table for tomorrow night in the Cerebral Smack Talk start time and what we can expect.
All right, very well. Definitely tomorrow night is the Cerebral Smack Talk, as we always do. This time around, we're gonna have a little bit of, SmackDown Live as usual, and I might have a Mikey's Mindset. I'm still working on a few details of what I want to do for the Mikey's Mindset. However, the start time is 10:30 Eastern on Braves Fan 95. So until then, we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 10:30 on Braves Fan 95. So Anthony, go ahead, set it home.
All right, thank you very much, MF, and yeah, so that's tomorrow night at 10:30, Braves Fan 95 MF channel for the Cerebral Smack Talk. The only thing that we know for SmackDown Live is AJ Styles is going to go up against the Singh brothers in a 2-on-1 handicap match, and whatever else they have in store for us. And that's it. We'll see if there's a mindset. Thursday, season finale. Yes, can you believe it already? Season finale of college football Thursday. I mean, man, oh man, where did the season go? That's all I can say on that. Where did it go? Because like just yesterday we were doing this, and now we're at the end of it. 7 games on the docket. Yeah, very short docket, only 7 games, but they're all championship games. Pac-12 championship, American Conference championship, Big 12 championship, SEC championship, Mountain West championship, ACC championship, Big 10 championship. That's the order. So expect full detail pretty much on all of it, and our final power poll of the season as well. There will be some shakeups in that. And then Friday night, of course, NFL Friday. Some big games to look forward to on that. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, it's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, very much in spirit, Dee Dee Woodson and family, along with Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Go to Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, keep it watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 at YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio. So long.